Purple Sunday, welcome. And then y'all already know we gotta wake up. We gotta wake up because it's hard to wake up on Sunday. It's especially hard to do this on a Sunday. Purple Sunday, that is, right? It's Sunday the 30th. That's right, y'all. 2025. I'm your host, BOOGOTTINYC, and this here's our bottom line. Will we be talking about this and that and that and this and this and that and that? Will we be talking about this and that and that and this and this and that? Just got me pissed. Welcome to another Purple Sundays, y'all. Y'all made it another day. Glad that we was able here. Tell you I had an eventful day yesterday. Not even gonna go into the topic because that topic could take over the whole show. But it's your boy Bugatti NYC, and like I always tell you, you could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. People still sleep. I know it's Sunday. Guess what? Get up, get up, get up. It's 6 o'clock. It's time for our bottom line. Y'all know what it is. We made it another day. We made it another day. We made it another day. Because tomorrow's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised, right? What's good, everybody? How y'all doing? It's your boy Bugatti NYC. Hope that you guys had a fantastic evening. As you can see, I did. And I just wanted to try to share the energy with you guys. Who we got in the building? We got Kendra Walker. That's right. Hello, everybody. You know we got Kendra Walker in the building from Grand Rapids. Y'all always know what I ask y'all to do. Make sure that y'all chime in and let me know where you chiming in from so that I can make sure that we get content from where you're from. That's all we try to do. This way, we always got everything all linked up and we can have discussions that kind of relate to each other and we know what we're talking about. That's why we always do that here. Hopefully you guys are geared up and ready because we have a real serious show today. We have a lot going on in our titles. We have a lot of just a lot of hot hogwash where we're just trying to clear up. We got a lot of follow-ups that we have to talk about and a lot of responses, things that we probably didn't cover. I forgot to cover something last week, so I got to make sure that you guys, if you don't remind me, even if I'm a couple of days late, I got to make sure that I'm getting that content out to you guys so that we can discuss it here because it's still something that's going to be in the news for a while, and I want to make sure that we're covering it. Hopefully everybody had a great evening. Who else we got up in the building right now? That suit got me bricked up. Nice job. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Kendra Walker. Yes, it is Purple Sundays. That's how we do it. Got to come here looking correct because we got a lot to cover today. And I want to get right into the titles because it's a grabber. It's an eye catcher. It's actually about Hunter's ex-business partner, but I definitely wanted to put it up there to get you guys a question started, which is, what do you think would happen if President Trump was asked by Hunter Biden, would you please give me a pardon? Because you know he's got cases coming up, right? So what would you think if he was to beg Donald Trump, like, would you please pardon me? Do you think that he would do it? Or do you think that Trump would not pardon him? Let's get to these titles, you guys. I got a lot to cover right here. And that's why I want to get to my work, get to my job, because we got so much in the clip. So we got to get to it right now, Sunday morning. Hope you guys had a fantastic evening because, again, I know I did because I'm up another day. Tomorrow's not promised. So without further ado, let's get into this title right here, this nose grabber right here. Trump, please pardon me, begs Hunter Biden. That's my question. Just a question. I know it's a big title. Just wanted to ask you guys, what do you think Trump would say if Hunter Biden were to ask him for a pardon? He just pardoned his ex-business partner a few days ago. That's why I put that in the title. I want to see what you guys would think about that. Okay, moving on to subcategories. We've got the GOP lawmakers who says that activist judge is abusing his position. As you know, Judge Bozeman has now put a 10-day freeze on all flights going back to Venezuela until he further investigates. So they can still send people back under other laws, but they cannot use the Aliens Enemies Act. So we're going to keep on going. What else do we have? Columbia University expels and revokes diplomas of students who protested. I'm sorry, I'm reading this backwards, guys. I really apologize about that. Let me do that again. Columbia experts and Columbia expels and revokes diplomas of students who protested. These are the students that took over Hamilton Hall. They were actually part of a big overtaking of the entire building. Now Columbia, because of the fact that the federal government has taken away $400 million in aid, they're now going back after these students, revoking their certifications, as well as their I think they're just briefly taking away their scholarships, but I don't think they really did too much. We're going to get into the clip and let them explain it. This way we know exactly what's going on there. And last but not least, we have nearly a dozen suspects from Q arrested for allegedly auto theft ring in Toronto. There's an auto theft ring going on in Toronto that we never covered. Wanted to make sure that we got some stuff covered about that, because we have tons of people in the comments from Toronto. We like to make sure that the information is rounded. I don't want to waste you guys' time. I want to get right into this first clip, because we missed this a couple of days ago. I didn't bring it up, where Trump had signed a pardon for Devin Archer, and that is Hunter Biden's ex-business partner. And that's why I wanted to ask you guys, what if Hunter were to ask Donald Trump for a pardon? Do you think that he would give it to him? Personally, I'd say no. Let's get into this clip, y'all. Let's go.
Just signed a pardon for Hunter Biden's former business partner, Devin Archer. It happened moments ago. Watch this.
And many people have asked me to do this. I think he was treated very unfairly. And I looked at the records, studied the records, and he was a victim of a crime, as far as I'm concerned. So we're going to undo that.
So there you go, a pardon for Hunter Biden's former business partner, Devin Archer, seen here in this golf outing. President Trump said that Devin Archer got, quote, screwed by the Bidens. The two of them met at the NCAA wrestling championships over the weekend. Devin Archer had an inkling that something was afoot, and today the president signed the pardon, Sandra.
Yeah, I mean, you remember, he came forward in 2023 with those explosive business dealings. John, you think about what a journey this has been for him to now come to this moment.
All right, so it's all expunged as far as that goes. And Devin Archer gets on with his life. And we'll get on with our life right after this.
And you guys do know that Hunter has a bunch of state charges which no one can help him get out of, right? You guys do know this, right? Hunter has a bunch of state charges because they felt like, oh, you slipped through the cracks with the Fed and your dad was able to pardon you, but you can't get a pardon on these state charges. And guess what? Trump can't help you either, even if he decides to, even if you beg him. Let's keep on moving right along, because we got this crazy attack that that's continuously going on. The Houthis launch another missile attack on Israel. Check this out, at an airport. And it's the same general that keeps on claiming all of this responsibility for all of these attacks on the USS Truman airship. This same guy. I really tried to make sure that when I check this general's information, I have to see the other side of it, just to make truth of what he's saying. Because the last time he reported that he had sent drones and all of these ballistic missiles at the USS Harry Truman, we had found out that those drones and ballistic missiles had been like shot 100 miles away from where the Truman was, totally missing the mark. Check this out, you guys. I want you guys to, I'm trying to keep us up on what's going on, but it's really hard to delve through fake news when you got generals like this that I feel that are partially telling the truth and trying to make themselves look good in their country or where they're from. Personally, you guys don't have to agree with me with that, but that's what I think. So right here we can see the Houthis military spokesman basically said that this is a missile attack
نصرة
warning.
للشعب الفلسطيني المظلوم وإسنادا لمقاومته المجاهدة استهدفت القوات الصاروخية مطار بن غوريون في منطقة يافا المحتلة وذلك بصاروخ باليستي نوعي الفقار وهدف.
I don't have to hear him. I can read it. He talks fast, but I'm gonna try. As well as military targets south of occupied Haifa with the Palestine 2 hypersonic ballistic missiles. Israel retreated bomb shelters after it was confirmed that the Houthis missiles has been launched. What we got here? Come on. These are the missile warnings with the they have like sirens going on in the air, and people have to evacuate and go to bomb shelters to try to stay there until they find out if the missiles have landed or if it's okay to come back out. So as you can see that this is one of the attacks, and yes, there are sirens blaring, and there are people that are hiding out in these bomb shelters right here. As you can see, there's tons of toilet paper. Everybody's got their cell phone out. So this is actually something that actually is going on at this moment. I just can't tell you what happened, the ramifications, or who got hurt yet. I'm just going to keep on going on with this story. Until I find out, we'll just keep on finding out what's going on through the days and the weeks of, moving forward with this situation. So yeah, as you can see this, in response to the ongoing American aggression against our country, the missile forces, the drone air force, and the naval forces carried out a joint military operation. This is the Bukala right here, targeting any enemy warships in the Red Sea, including the American aircraft carrier Harry Truman. And this is supposed to be yesterday with several ballistic and cruise missiles, as well as drones. We haven't heard back. We don't know anything about the response. I have not heard back anything as far as moving forward with that. But that is the claim. And yes, there were sirens going on, and people did confirm that they were ballistic missiles and drones shot from the Houthis. So that was confirmed. I just cannot tell you, who got hit, how many casualties, or what areas and stuff like that. Let's keep on moving forward, because now I want to get to Judge James Boasberg, who did something that I'm pretty peed off about as well. He expels the Aliens Enemies Act for at least 10 days. This is meaning that the Trump administration can't send any more immigrants under that week until the 10 days is up. No one can send out, he can't send any more aliens out under that act, but he can still send them out under other acts. Like if they're definitely determined by Homeland Security that they are criminal threats, if a judge expels them, he can still send them out that way. He cannot use the Aliens Enemies Act. Got it out. I got it out. Let's go, y'all. Let's go.
Judge James Boasberg, extending his hold on deportations under the Alien Enemies Act for at least another 2 weeks. President Trump using that law to send suspected Venezuelan gang members to El Salvador. Now, House Republicans looking to rein in the power of federal judges with a hearing set for next week. Let's bring in House Judiciary Committee member Darrell Issa of California, who's also on the Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, thank you very much for being here. This news this afternoon that we just saw a judge in Massachusetts also take an action against what the administration is trying to do with respect to these deportations. Obviously, you've got the Supreme Court taking up the alien enemies case. You as a member of Judiciary, how do you think that this is going to play out at the Supreme Court level?
Well, I welcome the High Court quickly taking this case up. When you have a law that's been on the books for more than 200 years and has stood the test of time, the court needs to recognize that any interference with the commander-in-chief's authority really does limit the executive branch in an unfair way. Having said that, obviously you've got an activist judge, one of many, who is abusing the term district in his title of district court judge. And that's what we're going to rein in. The hearing on Tuesday is going to highlight these abuses, but more importantly, it's going to do what it needs to do, which is define that no matter who's in the White House, no matter which party, we need to make sure that district judges do district work. And if you want a national injunction, there's a procedure to get to it, and it's not to pick somebody, one of 670 judges that'll rule the way you want and then slap the president daily outside of his or her jurisdiction.
I see this happening, and the same reason why is because Signal. How all of a sudden you get the same judge that's going to do this and say that he can't send them back. Now all of a sudden the same judge is the one that's responsible for investigating and looking over the Signal investigation. How all of a sudden, just like he just said, that's why I let it play that far, because he just said it, they're picking the same judges that they know that's going to side with them and what they want to go down. Kind of sucks right there. I put a lot on the table. We got 3 things to talk about. I'm in the comments right now. Let's go. What you guys got for me? Only English here. No one to translate. Car care. Freemasons country. What we got over here? Now he could talk, but you just got to help me translate that. Might be something cool because it's in Ukrainian. I can't say his name or nothing. A lot of Ukrainian going on here. Wow, a lot of Ukraine. Hey, you guys are definitely welcome. Just help us, let's help us, like they're saying over there. Can you help us translate? Car care. When you know the enemy, you don't fear them. Car care said, read The Cure in Canaan by Eustace Mullins. Rock On says scary. Car care. Canaan people. Rock On says like Gaddafi. What else we got? Who else we got over here talking? We got some more people up in it. AI says probably. Rock On fire, car care. The Youthies has no freedom fighters. Andrew says it will make Trump look good if he gave him a pardon. I think so too. I thought that. We think a lot. That's why I put it as the title, because he pardoned the other guy, right? So I'm saying to myself, what if he was the pardon hunter? People would be like, Ruby, like for real? Like Scooby-Doo? Like for real? That'll freeze them like, they'd be like, yo, we don't know what he's doing right now. Like, what type of play he's trying to make. Yeah, that's exactly. Trump will pardon Hunter at $1 cost. What do you mean, like $5 million maybe, car care? Maybe 5 million? Sharp AF says always. Kendra said, I'm sharp as F always. That's because y'all always here to talk about that, and I love to do it for you guys. And again, it's Purple Sundays, y'all. We're going to keep it purple on Sundays. Let's go. Let's keep it going. But he made a specific point that I like. I also think that we've been invaded. I think the Aliens Enemies Act should be able to be utilized. We need to define it more. How about putting in some more laws that actually have to do with more up-to-date situations? Due to the fact that they just claimed that was a 200-year plus old act that they're putting in. How about we create some new ones that actually reflect to the times and things that's actually happening right now, such as what's going on over here. People walking over the border and just doing whatever they want to do, sticking their middle finger up and looking at us like, yeah, can't wait to get over there. Gonna take everything y'all got, resources and everything. Because that's how I look at it. Call me what you want, but that's what I see when I see that going on. And it pees me off every time I see it. Now, we're going to get over to Columbia University real quick, because you know that they expelled and revoked the diplomas for a few students, right? But I don't understand why they would just do it briefly. If you're going to expel somebody and take away their diploma, why would you do it briefly? I don't understand that part. That's like, that's kind of like, it's not really a punishment. It's not actually a punishment. So this is what's going on at Columbia University, guys.
Well, correct, Vanessa. Also, some new developments to tell you about as well. Just days before spring break, Columbia's president confirming that ICE agents were inside 2 university residences just last night. She says they had judicial warrants to enter, but that no one was arrested nor detained, nor was any further DHS action taken. And this all comes to as Columbia reveals student sanctions for those who took part in protests last year. Now, in a campus-wide email, Columbia says the Judicial Board issued a range of sanctions for students who took over Hamilton Hall last spring, finding their actions were in violation of the school conduct code. That unauthorized occupation was a flashpoint in Gaza war protests on campus last year.
I just think people go too far, and when they do things like this, I'm from 8 blocks away from Columbia University. I'll say it every time. We respect the university. We love the university. We used to go up there and just hang out and watch like when you're a kid and you come from like a public school or a regular school or junior high and you see the college and you're walking over and you see all the students going to school and everything, and then you get to see like the lawn and everything like that, and you wonder one day, I wish I can be here one day. I want to actually go to this school. And yes, I do understand that school is about community and about getting your word out, but I take it a little bit personal when I see something like this going on 10 blocks away from where I live at. And I kind of look at it like I see you using the school as a statement, but overtaking buildings and stuff like that, just can't really get with it. And I got in trouble for stuff like that when I was in school. What did I do the first day of school? Center 54, I turned over the piano. Why? Because they thought that I couldn't do it. They said, "Oh, you're not strong enough to turn over the whole piano." So what did I do? Went into the auditorium, picked up the piano by one side and flipped it over because I was just trying to show that I could do it. You know what they did to me? "Oh, now you can't go to lunch anymore, and we got these two kids right here that you're going to teach them how to read." So I'm there every day on my lunch break with them, reading books with them. Had no chance to go out to play and none of that stuff. What they did to me was they scolded me, but in an educational manner, and it made me feel as if, gave me a sense of responsibility as well as you can't be doing stuff like that. And you don't always got to pop a kid. You got to give them a reason to really do something and use this energy for something totally different. And if you kind of steer kids in that direction, like after school programs, paying attention to what they like to do and putting energy and effort behind that, you get better turnout. And I know I went off on a little tirade there, but that's just how I feel about school and how people should be at school. Same way I feel about airports. I just don't believe people should be wigging out at airports. I go to the airport like this. You know what happens sometime when you get to go to the airport like this? They say, "Hold on a minute, sir. Let's go ahead and bump you up." They want people like this up in first class, man. You know what I'm saying? So if you play the part and do the part, you'll get the things that come to you. So just chill out. And that's why when it comes down to schools, again, let's get back to Columbia University and what's going on there. I can't be open and okay with what's going on there because overall, I just have a lot of respect for the school itself. Now, the policies and things of that nature, that's a little bit different. But I look at school for education, athletics, and teaching you to further in your life. As far as your religion and things of that nature, that's more of a community and social things that come from people in that area. So that really is not the responsibility technically of the school. So doing things that are from that at the school to try to just not with it. Just doesn't make sense. The ends must define the means to me. It must make sense. So just wanted to give you guys a little bit of what I'm thinking. Car Care says, school is head start for prison. No, it's a kind of head start for like work, I would say. More like programming for work when it comes to the bells and things like that. Don't think I don't understand the other side of it. But also I do think it's a great place for grooming and learning. I learned a lot in school. And had I been better directed, I think I would have been much better as well. But I had to leave school early because officer funds were low. And I had to do what I had to do and get a job and actually go to work to help my family. So we're going to keep on going. Columbia University, and let's get to the end of this and let's keep on going, y'all.
Columbia did not release numbers on how many students were expelled, suspended, or had their degrees briefly revoked. The sanctions come a week after the White House pulled $400 million in federal funding to Columbia, saying the school failed to protect Jewish students from harassment. Police say some 200 protesters staged a sit-in at Trump Tower yesterday, all demanding the release of Columbia graduate Mahmoud Khalil. His lawyers say the Syrian-born Palestinian refugee rose to prominence as a student negotiator during protests last year. They say the White House's claims that Khalil was leading activities aligned to Hamas are baseless and that his First Amendment rights are being violated. His lawyers also point out, too, that he's a legal green card holder and married to a U.S. citizen. They say, too, they are planning a news conference today to further lay out their case as to why they believe Mahmoud Khalil should not be deported.
Okay, so a legal green card holder. So whatever falls under the laws of a legal green card holder, as well as someone who is married to a U.S. citizen. That's the thing. The reason I'm saying that is because I always say, is it legal to deport him? And now we have to bring into, he's a legal green card holder and married to a U.S. citizen. Doesn't mean he's a U.S. citizen. So he has certain laws that he has to abide by while he's here. probably, of course, the same things that we would have to abide by if we were in another foreign country. Okay, let's keep on going. What we got? B. So what? He is married and a green card has the rules that they have to abide by. Okay. We've got Kendra Walker says, I had the belt named John Deere and 2 horses whips growing up with. You already know. A belt that was named John Deere. That was your pop's belt. And horse whips? Oh my God, no, Kendra, no, not the horse whips. Coco says, if you're a guest and are here to make a mess, get out. Period. We've got John. Now that suit is prime. Glad you kept moving forward, even though school had to be passed off. Yeah, I definitely did. That's why I keep on trying to tell you guys, I'm not the smartest person in the room. Definitely got a lot of wits about me, and I've done bunch of marketing and things of that nature. Went back to school actually to get my JED, the GED, and things of that nature. Tried to do college, but it just wasn't me. I'm more of an entrepreneur and a creator, which is why I have like a lot of alcohol brands and things of that nature, and I do like clothing, I rap and stuff like that. So got all the things that I need as far as concerns, and I'm just not a school nut. I just couldn't stay in school all the time. Now you got to go to school for this. Now you got to go to school for that. No. No, I'm more of a creator. I like to create. So that's why I create. And I created our bottom line for us. Let's keep on moving, y'all, because now we're talking about protecting women in sports and keeping men out of sports, something that we shouldn't even be having no problem talking about, but something that Democrats have to say in defense, because there's this one person that's actually defending. I want you to see this clip. There's one Democrat, and I hate to say that word, but she happens to be a Democrat, who is defending boys and girls in sports. And the way that she's saying it is just trying to say it like it's nothing, it's okay. Let's just have boys. She said little girls should be able to compete against boys and show that we can win against them. That's what she said. Not even thinking about once they get older, and then next thing you know, they're in that boxing ring, or they getting punched in the face from a spiked ball going to their nose and breaking the bridge of their nose. It's just, I just don't get it, and things that I just don't agree with. So this right here, totally, y'all already know me if y'all been here for a while. I don't agree with things like this at all. So I want you guys to see this craziness right now that this lady's basically saying. I can't even remember what her title is. I'm just going to be 100% honest. I don't even know what the title is.
Pennsylvania's state senate just advanced a bill to protect girls' sports. Comments from a Democratic senator objecting to the measure getting a lot of attention. Listen in.
Female bodies are just as strong, as fast and capable as male bodies. I want all girls to know that there are elected officials like me who would never underestimate your ability to beat a boy at their own sport. Because that's what the premise of this bill assumes, that female bodies are less than male bodies. For what reason, other than political gain?
Biologically, ain't that the truth? Muscular, the bone density, the endurance. What the hell is she talking about? This is the problem. It's always when I see somebody like this, I'm like, what the hell is this lady talking about? Y'all agree with this? This is definitely the reason why I made our bottom line. I wanted to play this clip. Don't make me play it again, because I will. Because it just doesn't make sense to me. Please tell me what you guys think about what y'all just heard. Or do you need to hear more? You want me to play the rest of it? Or did you hear enough? I want to know what you guys have to say about that nonsense right there. Because it was totally stupid. Ezzy Max, I'm going up to Ezzy Max real quick. What you said, they should get rid of sports altogether. Car care, robots will unite humans. Alexandra, I guarantee you this lady never played the sport in her life. No, I bet you she did. Don't do that. Because I bet you, as far as the eating comes, you stop playing. This woman right here will eat. She's like a national winner at the Nathan's hot dog events. Trust me. This lady right here will get busy. Don't try to say this lady can't play in sports. Her sport just happens to be different. It's eating. That's her sport. So you're right. She never played a sport in her life. What else you got over here? We got Dane Bramage says, already pardon job done. See you in court, Trump. What else we got right here? I want to see what else you got to say about this. Beto Have. Women need to speak up and tell them how they feel. That's right. They really do. Black 99C. Men breathe more air, so can put more energy into the muscle. Shy TV says disrespectful. It is. It's definitely disrespectful. She's bugging right now. She is just trying to include and protect the transgender. That's all she's doing. That's exactly what she's doing, Roy. That's exactly what she's doing. And thank you for being the one to call it out. Roy said, 0. She was just trying to include and protect the transgenders. That's all she's doing. Thank you for saying what I have to say it, Roy.
Are we spending time and taxpayer dollars on a completely made-up issue?
So critics having a field day here. Just a few posts in response. Quote, this is a lie. How about she come to the gym and we match her up with a 14-year-old boy? He'll make her tap out in seconds.
He said, let's match her up with a 14-year-old boy and she'll tap out in seconds. You heard that, right? Then another, the NFL doesn't ban women. Hell, they tried the female kicker out a couple of times. Women are no match physically, but these loons lie about everything. Everything.
Another, the NFL doesn't ban women. They tried a female kicker, but women are no match physically. But these loons lie about everything, end quote. One more, quote, denying basic biology to push some weird gender-bending, politically correct rubbish. I'm sick of woke trying to cancel women's sports. Well, the Department of Education has announced a Title IX civil rights investigation of Portland, Oregon's public school system this week. At issue, a biologically born male absolutely trouncing the competition at a girls' high school track meet, winning the 400-meter race by more than 7 seconds. Okay, Lisa, I thought when I saw this lawmaker, it sounds like she's trying to be kind and encouraging to girls, like don't let them make you think you're anything less. Less than is different than different than.
Well, no, that's it. We don't need no more. We don't need, thank you. And I know y'all seen dude that was running in the track, right? The young dude that was running on the track. This guy right here. You see this guy, right?
Biologically born male, absolutely trouncing the competition at a girls' high school track meet, winning the 400-meter race by more than 7 seconds. Okay.
He can literally sit on the sidelines and drink a soda while the race is still going on. That's how much he's outbeat them. It's ridiculous and it's disrespectful. Just like somebody said in the comments, it's totally disrespectful. What we got over here? Shy TV said, so men's, women's, and mixed events. That's crazy. Yeah, that's what it is in reality. Sir says women cancel women's sports by not supporting it. What else we got here? I ain't say that. That's what Sir said. Kona says, in Hawaii, we just started a new high school all girls flag football teams. Okay. It says calm down says how it feel being on the wrong side of history. MAGA ? Already tired of winning. Car Care says don't destroy angels in heaven for hell on earth. Live. I like that one, Car Care. That was dope. That was dope, Car Care. Hunter says it's just silly at this point. It is, Hunter. It's stupid. Texas says her state will lose federal funding. Exactly. Kendra, did you see that? That was crazy. Look, Batty Lynn up in the building. How you doing, Batty? Read the Curse of Canaan. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I wanted y'all to see that because it's still a couple of them that's out there that's thinking that it's okay to try to push this agenda. And just like somebody said in the comments, it's the trans agenda. They're not trying to champion and talking about girls trying to compete against boys like actual competitions. Because if you actually did that, you would see in the stats that the guys outran them. And like they said in that one comment, put her against a 14-year-old boy in wrestling and watch what happens. Yeah, she's going to be tapping out in a minute trying to go get some donuts. We're going to keep on going, y'all, because now we got the president who's going to discuss stuff about Signal and sanctuary cities. A lot of people right here said stuff about funding. I want you guys to see what he's saying about Signal. This is some updated information right here, as well as sanctuary cities. Let's see what he's got to say about this. Everybody in the building, keep on tapping and letting me know where you come from. I mean, we start that in the beginning of the show, but I also want to ask you guys to let me know where you're from so that I can keep on getting content so that we can have relative stuff to talk about. Because sometimes I'll just go and look. I'll think about, okay, I know where Kendra's from. I already know where Batty's from. So I want to know where other people are from so I can bring that content as well so that we can have dialogue from your state as well. Also, do me a favor. We've been rocking since 6 in the morning, still going, not even halfway done. Do me a favor, if you're appreciating the content, we do this every day. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit those 3 buttons over there. Let that like come down. Hit that. Also, we're very close to our 30,000 subscriber mark. We're really trying to get to the point to try to do some numbers and let more people know that we are #1 show on you during the 6 o'clock hour, and that's every day. Because we do this every day. People ask, so when you come on? Today. When's the next time I'm going to see you? Tomorrow. Then when? The day after that. Let's keep on going, y'all, because that's what we do over here. Want you guys to see what he has to say about this signal information as well as what's going on with sanctuary cities.
To do that, I think they're going to do it. I think we're also going to be codifying a lot of the executive orders that we've done, which have been very popular. And we're looking at one, I will tell you right now, that I think perhaps will be controversial, but not with the people, and that's sanctuary cities. We're going to end sanctuary cities for some of these jurisdictions that aren't cooperating with law enforcement. They're guarding criminals. They're taking the rights away from the citizens of their state and their city. And we're going to be ending sanctuary cities if we find it necessary to do in certain major areas. And we may just end the entire thing altogether because it's just a way of protecting criminals. And nobody else is benefited by that. And for some reason, Democrats want to keep and they want to shield criminals from being sent back to their countries or being sent to prison. And in the meantime, the crime rate has gone through the roof. Under Biden, it was through the roof. It's starting to come down, but we're taking a lot of people out of here. So we may be presenting you very shortly with a executive order ending sanctuary cities.
Mr. President, are you going to change any of the practices that your national security officials used after a reporter was inadvertently added to a group chat about attacks on Yemen?
Well, I think it's a question I've been asked now, and I've given a few answers, and they've all been the same.
As far as the sanctuary cities, let's do that one first. Let's knock that down right now. You already know what judges, court, they're going to put all types of paperwork in effect where it's going to say you can't end sanctuary cities. So all of a sudden, people are going to be running around, oh my God, he's talking about ending sanctuary cities. Can't just do it. Just because he wants to do something, you guys, Democrats, independents, everybody, because I'm not any one of them. I'm just a human being. That's why we got this platform. But I want you guys just to know that just because somebody says that they're going to do something, you've already seen Bozeman try to overturn other stuff that he's done. So don't always get nervous as soon as somebody says something and like, take the excitement of that. Just a little tidbit that I want to give you guys. Because yes, he could want to do this. You could want to go to the moon. Well, he probably can do that because he knows Elon. But can't do everything, all right? Let's keep on going, y'all. Let's do it. Let's keep on going.
We have an amazing group. Our national security now is stronger than it's ever been. We have had a very, very successful, numerous attacks on that area. These are people that shoot down ships, not only our ships, ships all over, and damaging them badly, or they're going down. They're also shooting anything that happens to be in the area. We hit them very, very hard. There was no classified information, as I understand it. They used a app. And I think I'll ask Mike. Mike is here. Do you want to respond to that, please?
Yes, Mr. President. You asked about lessons. I think there's a lot of journalists. And
if you guys were here 3 days ago, don't forget, we had an exclusive meeting, an exclusive interview where Mike took full responsibility for being the one that sent out that text. He definitely did that. And I ain't hating, but just own your when you do something, just own it. And he did. Now you're going to try to throw a little bit of, cream and a little maraschino cherry on it, but, he definitely owned it 2 days ago. If y'all want to see that video, it's 2 videos ago. If you want to see him say it, I may have sent out a text by mistake to this person.
in this city who have made big for themselves making up lies about this president, whether it's the hoax, making up lies about Gold Star families, and this one in particular I've never met, don't know, never communicated with, and we are looking into and reviewing how the heck he got into this room. But I'll tell you what, the world owes President Trump a favor. Under Biden, global shipping was shut down. Pinprick attacks, months between them, our destroyers being fired upon dozens of times. President Trump took decisive action with his national security team, took out the head missileer, knocked out missiles, knocked out headquarters, knocked out communication sites. And for once, as we hear, as you all hear from every one of our allies, thank God for American leadership again. Thank God for American strength. You're welcome, world.
So you guys are saying some real smart stuff in the comments. I just saw this right here, and I'm all for this right here. I just saw something. Online poker rush is always you. You said America is still in trouble, but hopefully Trump can save us, right? So this is, I understand what you're saying right there, right? This is what I'm trying to say and why I like that comment, because it's like we have to be conscious of what we're dealing with and that we still have a problem that we still have to fix, right? And now, in understanding that, that doesn't make us pause on the problem or act like it's not there. So that's why I like the comment that you just put out there. I like that comment.
We had a national security team that was coordinating these efforts, as Director Radcliffe testified today. His first day on the job, introduced to this app on his government systems at the CIA, State Department, and otherwise. So, look, this journalist, Mr. President, wants the world talking about more hoaxes and this kind of nonsense rather than the freedom that you're enabling. And a key part of our sovereignty is open sea lanes and knocking the crap out of terrorists, which is exactly what your team and Pete Hegseth, a good friend and fellow veteran, is leading the charge on, and it's an honor.
We had a very successful, we had a very successful evening, and we've had numerous successful evenings and days in that area. The Houthis are absolutely on the run. The worst of them have been killed. This should have been done a long time ago by Biden, but Biden was an incompetent president. He couldn't do anything. He didn't know where he was going. He had no clue. This guy had no clue. This should have been done a long time ago. As they shoot missiles at ships, randomly shoot missiles at ships, and they make their own missiles. You know, this is not an incompetent group of people. They make their own missiles. They get the missiles also from Iran. It's an offshoot of Iran, another offshoot. You have Hamas, you have Hezbollah, you have the Houthis, you got a lot of stuff going on with Iran. And we sent a letter to Iran. You're going to have to be speaking to us one way or the other pretty soon, because...
Okay, guys, I don't want to keep on doing this because we got a whole bunch more. Anybody know what the definition of MAHA is? M-A-H-A? Anybody in the comments know what M-A-H-A stands for? I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Make America Healthy Again, right? Right now we have a senior MAHA advisor who explains how food has been weaponized, and they're finally taking soda off of the SNAP app. So if you're getting SNAP or food assistance from the government, they said that they were spending somewhere nearly $40 million a month or something like that just for soda. And of course, soda is not healthy. So of course they can tell you almost what to do with your SNAP benefits because they're giving you free money, right? So now they're saying that no more soda for SNAP people, right? Watch this. It's going to actually be a good thing because I've never even heard of this much money being spent on soda just from one program. That's crazy. I can't believe this. Watch this, y'all.
Joining me now is Callie Meaton, Senior Advisor for MAHA. Callie, it's good to have you here. How scared are the food companies right now?
Can we just step back and think about how extraordinary this is? The biggest threat to the ultra-processed food industry, which is now 70% of our children's diet, it's 15% in Italy, is that President Trump and Secretary Kennedy have woken up the moral conscience of Americans, have woken up the MAHA moms, and have started a societal shift in this country where people are wanting to be healthier. So there's a very important societal dynamic happening with this MAHA agenda, but what's happening with SNAP and what happened today in West Virginia shows the playbook of how Secretary Kennedy, Secretary Rollins at the USDA, President Trump are going to drive action for MAHA moms.
this. And, you know, the amazing part of it is that Americans have always supported this, but we never had a leader who was interested in taking this on. And when you think about it, Callie, think about how difficult they made it for Robert Kennedy Jr., his party, his family, and everything else. And yet this is what we need.
Every force in the world was against Secretary Kennedy taking office, but the voice of the voters, the voice of the Maha moms shined through. And what happened with SNAP, you're exactly right. It's just common sense. Right now, the federal government sends $10 billion a year from the food stamp.
Sorry, 10 billion. I said 50 million. I want to get that right. He said they send $10 billion. Get that right, y'all, because I know y'all don't play with them numbers with me, boy. So let's get them numbers correct.
The federal government sends $10 billion a year from the food stamp program to soda companies. It's a $10 billion soda subsidies for a program that is supposed to be helping kids with supplemental nutrition. So you're seeing the playbook here, Judge. They've been rallying the states and working with the states. And the governor of West Virginia, the most obese state in the country, applied for a federal waiver. So that's what happened today, a federal waiver saying we're going to take soda off of SNAP.
What y'all think about that? Do y'all think it's a good thing? I think it's good for health as far as that's concerned. And it does seem to make the government seem as if they're putting things in the right direction. Also, if you're noticing that you're spending $10 billion, not my little $50 million on soda, it's going to make you think again, like people are not really eating that healthy and they're drinking all of this soda. Soda companies are getting rich just off a snack. What y'all got to say about this? Let's go. I'm over here. Okay, the reason why people don't eat healthy is because healthy food options are too expensive for those living below the poverty line. Oh my God, I picked the perfect one as soon as I came and as I looked. URF T-bound for life. You're totally 1000% correct. All we have is these little BS bodegas that sell us these little cookies and these little canned goods. They don't have no room for vegetables or nothing like that. They won't store vegetables because they perish too fast. The only thing that they're able to give us is like the stuff that they can give us quick and fast. And the sad part about it is the majority of people that do live in the neighborhoods like that, that's the only thing that they're able to get. Even when they go to supermarkets in those neighborhoods, it's just a larger volume of the same stuff. So you right here, hopefully you go ahead and join the channel because I like the way your comments come back. That was very smart to say. We got Mel Dub. Well, who else we got in here? We got Envy, and now he wants to put a 25% tariffs on all car parts. Bro, this is going to be more expensive for the Americas, not for other countries. You're paying the cost. I agree with you, Envy. I agree with you. And we get caught up in these waves and in these rifts of negotiations. So while he's saying you're going to do this to one country, right? And the other country's talking about, oh, we're not going to do that. And then you and I are in the middle like this, dealing with the wave. And you know what the wave is? High bills, high economy, high taxes, and high prices. Again, totally right. Got you. Understand exactly what you're talking about. And the same thing's going on with the stock market. The poor guy says, at all, LMAO, oh, you about to be up out of here? That's not the right number. Oh, you're not talking to me. Okay. Oh yeah, that wasn't the right number, but you wanna keep on playing and running down the block or something that I corrected. You can leave the poop guy. And if you want to keep on playing, come on back in the comments and say something and stick your head up out so I can knock you out the block. Because I don't come here to play games. Okay, let's keep on going. Envy says we can see that by the immediate increase in prices of vehicles, and Fox News went and did a segment on it and it didn't work out in their favor. The dealership said, no, this is not good. Send me that clip. I'll definitely see it. And this way to give us some education on what's going on over there. So do that. Send me that clip so I can see it. Lucid says, so I'm disabled and receive SNAP benefits so that I can eat. I don't want them really, but I have no other options. So now I can't enjoy a Pepsi every now and then. My life already sucks. Damn. Natalie says, laughing my ass off. Morning, everyone. Keep on going, y'all. We're going to keep on going and finish this up.
Now, until today, until the Trump administration, those waivers are rejected. But Secretary Rowlands at the USDA, working closely with Secretary Kennedy, have said bring these waivers. So states now, Judge, are rising up, thanks to the call from President Trump and the administration, and they're taking soda off of SNAP. They're cutting this $10 billion subsidy to the soda companies.
And you know, the amazing thing is that Robert Kennedy has indicated, Jr. obviously, he's indicated that sugar is as addictive as crack. It's as debilitating as crack, that it slows your brain. We have the sound here? Sorry, here we go.
Sugar is as addictive as crack, and it's almost as bad for you. It kills you just as surely, it just kills you a little slower. It feeds tumors, it destroys your body, it destroys your brain.
Now that's scary.
It's absolutely.
I didn't even know that, but hey, something to look into, right? Anybody that's out there wants some extra sugar in their coffee, they like the, what's that, the grande with the whipped cream and all of that extra stuff, might want to knock that back off your diet there, because it's better for your body. And I have to say it myself. It's hard. It's really hard to stop using a lot of sugar. I can't even tell you. I'm not even going to lie to you. Sometimes I try to get the brown sugar. I'm telling myself, okay, just 1 teaspoon. And then you taste it and you're like, it's still not sweet enough, right? But then we got to put another one in there. Then you're like, damn, that's too much right there. So I will not lie and tell you guys that I'm good with sugar. I'm a crackhead too when it comes to sugar. So I have to get better with it as well. And I know that it's not good for your body. So we're going to try to do that together. And I'm calling myself out on it. Straight up. Just got to be straight up about it. I ain't going to lie. I'm bad with it too. What do you guys think about that? Mad Hatter, just don't touch my chicken or my goat meat. Uh-oh, let me find out Mad Hatter's Jamaican. He said, me goat meat, man. Don't mess with me curry goat them. Why you do now, man? Don't mess with me curry goat or me stew pot of chicken there. Mad Hatter not play. What we got? Did you make a GPS in his voice? The guest is good for you. Envy says the only jobs you should be looking to bring back to America are high-paying jobs like tech. Why are you looking to do manufacturing jobs? Don't you want to strive for better? I think you're right about that. And then we did a clip yesterday. I don't know if you noticed it, but there was a really, really good clip that we covered yesterday where it said that the United States makes more money off of services and not industry. We're not that government and people that we used to be, that were used to doing stuff on the line and stuff like that, especially now since machines are doing it and stuff. So I'd have to agree when it comes down to a lot of the manufacturing, but services actually are almost 70% of what the United States provides and makes monetary from. And I think that what you said about tech is very smart too, because we're very smart people. We're really good with tech. We like computers and things like that. So AI, tech goes right together. Again, think you're right about that. Anybody hear about these deadly Myanmar earthquakes? The toll is rising in Thailand, and there's some trapped workers. These beautiful buildings have basically fell over. All the all of the architecture look terrible. I want you guys to see what's going on in Myanmar. I hope I'm saying it correctly. Myanmar, there's a quake that's with a rising.
Good evening. The death toll in Myanmar after yesterday's earthquake has climbed past 1,000. And experts are warning that number is likely to rise significantly. The military junta says another 2,400 people were injured and it's calling for international assistance. The 7.7 magnitude quake struck near the city of Mandalay, the ancient capital of Myanmar. The magnitude 6.7 aftershock was also felt across the region in China, Vietnam and Thailand, where our Asia correspondent Aaron Fernandez will join us from shortly. But first, let's take a look at the impact on the ground in Myanmar.
Monks cowering in Mandalay. This is Myanmar's second largest city, less than 20 kilometres from the epicenter. People huddled together in the streets, unsure which way.
I mean, this literally looks like a movie, and it's actually going on with a 7.7 magnitude earthquake. Yes, I know I just came straight in with this one out of left field, but this is what's going on in Myanmar right now. I don't know if you guys saw this. Again, we've been up since 6 o'clock. We pull content like this every single day. This is what we do over here at Our Bottom Line. Hopefully you guys appreciate the content. What I'm going to ask you to do, there's 3 dots over there. We looking like crackheads on these numbers right now. Do me a favor so I can play the rest of this clip. Actually go and rewind some of it so that we can see it from when it started. I would like you guys to do me a favor. Hit the like button so we can get those numbers up. What happens is that lets other people come over and say, hey, what they doing over there? And it makes more people come over to the show. We don't worry about the coffee because we got coffee in the kitchen. We can take care of that ourselves. We actually like the likes to go up and you to stay here. So what I'm going to do is rewind. And did you see that building come down? That was crazy. Look like a movie that they making. This is real life. In Thailand, like literally, this is crazy. This is nuts. You want to see this whole clip, go to SBS World News, and it's up there.
First, let's take a look at the impact on the ground in Myanmar.
Monks cowering in Mandalay. This is Myanmar's second largest city, less than 20 kilometres from the epicenter. People huddled together in the streets, unsure which way to run. As more buildings came crashing down.
No. I'm just kidding.
At the city's airport, passengers hit the tarmac. Inside, the terminal in ruins. State media is reporting building collapses across 5 towns and cities. Civilians trying to pull people out of the rubble with their bare hands.
They're just so desperate and devastated when it happens, and aftershocks were still coming in as well. So people are just so afraid right now, and they're just on the streets, living on the streets, sleeping on the streets, panicking, and so fear.
It's still difficult to get a true sense of the damage. Power and communications outages have been reported in Mandalay and Yangon, Myanmar's largest city. But the US Geological Service says a quake of this size in this location has the potential to cause more than 10,000 deaths.
The biggest challenge is to get into the area. With the ordinary vehicle, you cannot go because there's a lot of damage on the road to Mandalay and there's no air travel. People are saying that this is one of the worst in the century.
Myanmar's now 4-year-long civil war had already displaced more than 3.5 million people. Since the military coup, the country has been largely shut off from...
They need to determine this as a human risk, and everybody, sadly, should be evacuated from this place. Seriously, because if this keeps on going on and the buildings is falling down like that, and they're talking about a possibility of up to 10,000 people dying, it's just too much tragedy to happen in one place, y'all. I want to see what you guys got to say in the comments about this because this is nuts. Terry says, that is hell, but it's life on earth. That's sad, Terry. Envy says, maybe that's what you would like to believe, but the #1 selling EV is BYD. Build your own dream. It's a Chinese company. What you got? Mo Dub says, what else we got? Michael Lynn says, yeah, you got to laugh when you see these dummies keying up Teslas, and it's like no Trump supporters own a Tesla. So joke's on y'all. The Quest, you don't get it. What happens? You don't get it. Will happen to all in Asia. The Chinese Envy says that I'm not reading that because it's not about what's on topic. You guys see them buildings fall is what I was trying to talk about because that was crazy. And I'm praying for the people in Myanmar, and we hope that they survive out of this and make it because we do not want to see all of this tragedy and crazy stuff happening. We ask that today in Jesus' name, amen. Thank you. That was crazy. Hate the fact that actually happened, and I'm sad for those people. Now we're going to ask Trump what he thinks about point blank about the drones that Iran is attacking Ukraine with. I want you guys to see what he has to say about that. You partially got part of the answer in 2 clips ahead, but I want you to see the entire clip right here, what his direct answer is when it comes down to when he's taking questions about in the Oval Office.
Attacking Ukraine every day.
That's it.
Iranian drones are attacking and killing Ukrainians every day. Why aren't you doing something about that?
Well, we're going to see what happens with that. I'm getting reports on that, and we're looking at a report. You're right. They make a lot of drones. Iran makes a lot of drones. They make very effective drones, too. They do very effectively at some things, but Iran is very high on my list of things to watch. And as you probably know, I sent them a letter just recently, and I said, you're going to have to make a decision one way or the other. And we're going to either have to talk and talk it out, or very bad things are going to happen to Iran. And I don't want that to happen. Big preference, and I don't say this through strength or weakness. My big preference is we work it out with Iran. But if we don't work it out, bad things are going to happen to Iran.
The problem with that is when you're saying stuff like that on the news, and when you're who you are, people get that misconstrued or look at it for what it is, and then you get Iranian governors and the president and them answering back. Like the last time when that happened, they said, we're not negotiating, we're not letting you come over here and check into our nuclear arms. So that right there is already pushback. And then, like I told you guys, they're continuously shooting at the oil rigs that's trying to get through the Black Sea. They're aiming and firing at U.S. Tankers and aircraft carriers. So basically, they're doing whatever they want in the Black Sea, Iran. So I guess they just calling them all the way out like, hell with it, bring it. And they talking about they shooting at the USS Harry Truman. So they directly getting at us. Might just have to do what you got to do, homie. Real talk. Sad part about it is going to be a lot of casualties. And what he doesn't want to do is be a war president, as we can see. He's trying to eliminate war, as you can see, not trying to create wars is what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. I don't know, but hopefully we get through this because it's just too much going on right now. Now, I want you guys to see about this Georgia senator who's speaking on losing his job after voting against a lawsuit for reform. It's like the perfect example of what can happen when you don't side with your party, kind of like what Governor Jokul Hochul is doing to her lieutenant governor when she's taking away his phone, fired like all of his assistants, and moved him out of his office. So it's kind of like if you don't play it right with your party, they don't play it right with you and they don't support you. Let's keep on going, you guys. I want you guys to see this right here because this is pretty crazy. Check this out.
Lost his job after voting against the contentious package of tort reform bills.
Well, what happened next was an emotional moment on the House floor. Democrats rallying behind their Republican counterpart. Atlanta News First investigative reporter Anastasia Olmos spoke to Representative Smith about the vote that he says cost him his livelihood.
You won't believe the calls and the texts I've had. Wow, it's amazing. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
Georgia Representative Vance Smith choked up as he addressed the House chamber Tuesday morning.
For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord.
Just days prior, the Harris County Chamber of Commerce board chair Teresa Garcia Robertson fired the Republican representative from his day job as the CEO.
My vote wasn't taking the chamber in the direction that they wanted to go, and therefore we'd had to part ways. It was very negative effect on my wife and my family.
Did you know that your vote would affect your personal life?
Didn't have a clue. No clue.
Smith voted against SB 68, known as Georgia Governor Brian Kemp's tort reform plan, with the goal of curbing liability lawsuits that result in large insurance payouts. Rep. Smith said he supported the bill but had questions.
Will this bill entice companies to come back to Georgia? Will it ease the fears of companies that are here in Georgia?
The bill spent more than a month in the General Assembly with amendments in the Senate and the House.
Doesn't seem pretty fair when it comes down to that bill. Easing liabilities on companies when somebody try to sue them. I would have probably had a problem with pushing that one through. Hey, it is what it is, but we got to keep on going because I want to see what you guys got to say about that. What you got to say about that? Because he got kind of emotional on the floor. What else we got to say? For safety reasons, I asked Mel Dub to stop speaking fire. What else we got? We got Well, one thing I know, if you were poor and came into money, you know how to be poor. I know I do. I've been to the food pantry the last 6 months myself. That's what Michelle Lynn said. We got Old Owl says, no, I'm talking about what he is saying. I'm talking about what he is saying. Mad says, what else we got? What else we got? We got Michelle says, yeah, they think that Trump's supposed to they think that Trump's supposed to negotiate with the media before he even gets to negotiating a deal, you know. Yes, you can't just go out there and tell people what you're gonna do, and then like they ask all these stupid questions. Like the media don't understand. Social networks is too fast. It's like whatever you say right then and there is gonna be said and gonna be heard. You can't just be telling y'all stuff, trying to ask about wars and what we planning on doing about something. Next thing you know, oh, such and such said they're gonna do this. Such and such said they're gonna do that. And like instigating stuff to happen. So the media, you can't be told everything. We can't know everything. We're not supposed to. That's why they call it secrets. We're gonna keep on going, y'all, because now I want you guys to see what's going on in Toronto, where nearly a dozen, I think that's what we got up here. No, let's go to Las Vegas real quick. We're gonna go to Vegas. I want some fire to happen right now. We gotta turn up real quick. I saw something happen in Vegas that I thought was kind of crazy. This police sergeant he had set up cameras in the bathrooms of his wife and his sister-in-law to fulfill his freaky fetishes. And this is I'm talking about a Las Vegas police sergeant. That means he went from patrol. That means he went from another position to get the sergeant. He's been in the police force for a long time. So he wanted to do freaky stuff in his crib and set up cameras. He didn't have one aimed. He had another in the fan, another in the vent. Check out what this freaky sergeant was doing, y'all. Check this out in Las Vegas.
Good evening. Prosecutor describe a disturbing fetish in crimes, prompting a grand jury to indict a Las Vegas Metro Police sergeant for a third time. This is 8 News Now at 11 o'clock. I'm Denise Valdez, and this is a story our 8 News Now investigators first broke. Vanessa Murphy, the only reporter in the courtroom as those alarming allegations are revealed.
We just watched Las Vegas Metro Police Sergeant Kevin Menon turn himself in jail here after a judge issued a warrant. In this third criminal case, prosecutors say he installed cameras in his private bathroom to watch his wife and sister-in-law use the toilet.
The thing that we discovered was that one of the things that Kevin Menon has a fetish for is pornography involving peeing and urination.
Prosecutor Chris Hamner says this is Kevin Menon installing cameras in his home bathroom.
You'd be able to see the toilet, and then 2 days later, Kevin Menon installs a second hidden camera and a second vent inside that same bathroom.
He describes 96 recordings, prompting a grand jury to indict Menon on 28 counts of capturing an image of the private area of another person.
These women have no clue that they are being recorded.
Hamner says Menon is caught on camera installing the videos here in September. That's while he was out on bail in his first case, where he's accused of abusing his power as a Metro Police sergeant by creating fake scenarios to make arrests on the Las Vegas Strip. As a result of that investigation, police say they found numerous images of child sexual abuse material on Menon's devices.
They need to look into these police officers much better than they are. And he made sergeant. And if you saw that fake thing that he was doing, they got him on video where he was like on the strip bumping into people, like creating false scenarios and stuff. I mean, seriously, man? So you basically got arrested for something else and then they banged you for this. And then how could you, just a question, how could you get in trouble for making videos about your wife? I mean, the sister-in-law is one thing, but the wife part, isn't that your wife? Are they separated? This is just bizarre to me. I don't understand what's going on. I'm trying to figure it out myself. Maybe y'all can help me in the comments. I don't know. What y'all got going on over here? What y'all got going? I have no idea what the hell I just looked at. I don't even know. What else we got? We got Sounds German. The Quest said it sounds German. What else we got here? We got Doge, come on, Doge, come on. China. We got Rena Love says, how did they find out that he had the cameras in the house? I don't know. They probably found the videos and it all made sense. They probably found the videos. Who owns Greenland? We got Y'all talking to each other a lot. I'm not apologizing at all. Cry harder and harder. Weren't you just talking about feelings? Seems like you're in your feelings, bro. Who you talking about? I don't know. Terry says, see, you can't trust nobody but nobody. You can't. And that's your wife in the but I don't understand the bathroom thing and your wife. What the hell is going on with that? Okay, but tech and AI and still that stuff can be done from anywhere on a computer. It sure can, but not if you're working on a server with other people and you guys have responsibility for different parts. They probably won't want you to work from home from that. Dustin says, how can Americans buy Greenland? Who do we pay to purchase it? They don't even want to give it to us. Y'all talking about Greenland. This is him right here. This is the sergeant that's basically, now he's got 3 different cases. Might as well just call him, he's just a freaky sort of dude. And why the hell are you doing all this video stuff? You married. What's up with you, man?
He was rearrested and then posted bail. On Friday, Hamner asks Clark County District Court Chief Judge Jerry Weiss to set a bail for $1 million cash.
He's turned to satisfy his addiction by victimizing the people who love him most. And there is absolutely no way at this point that the state and the court and Metro can monitor him to keep the community safe.
Weiss sets bail at $56,000 and says the new charges don't seem as serious as the alleged crimes in Menin's first 2 cases.
It seems hard for me to give you $1 million bail on these charges.
Hamner continues to try to sound the alarm.
We don't know what else to do to stop the crimes from happening.
Weiss stands by his decision, just like Menin's wife appears to stand by her husband. The 8 News Now investigators see them leave their North Las Vegas home to go to his attorney Robert Draskovich's office. They say goodbye before Menin heads to jail again.
Did you install cameras in your private bathroom to watch your family members go to the bathroom?
I don't have a comment on that, ma'am.
I saw the video myself of you installing the cameras.
The evidence in this case, which prosecutors again just...
I saw the video myself of you installing them cameras. I guess the wife probably talked to her sister and was like, yeah, I got a freaky issue with my husband right now. So hopefully you don't press no charges on her. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. And like I said, he made Sergeant. Freaky Sarge, ain't that, y'all? We're going to keep on moving forward because we got a lot to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring you this Q situation for Toronto, where all of these people are now starting to get arrested for stealing these cars. I don't know if anybody in the chat right now is from Toronto, but this is for you, y'all. Toronto in the building. Let's go.
We take you live now to Central West Division in Whitby, where Durham police are providing information on the results of Project Carbon, an investigation into auto thefts. Let's listen in.
Auto theft is not a victimless crime. Too often people wake up to find their cars missing, and often it's the only source of getting to work or taking their kids to school. Enough is enough. No one should live in fear and afraid that criminals can take what they worked hard for. And criminals should no longer believe they can act without consequences. That's why our government, under the leadership of Premier Ford and Minister Kessler, has supported law enforcement from day one. We're strengthening police enforcement, we're closing loopholes, and we're giving officers the tools they need to put criminals behind bars where they belong. We're proud that Project Carbon was funded through Preventing Auto Theft Grant, which provides dedicated funding to dismantle criminals. Criminal organizations investigate stolen vehicles. With our support, Durham Regional Police is making a serious dent in organized crime. The results speak for themselves. More criminals identified, more arrests made, and more stolen vehicles recovered. But we're not stopping here. We will keep investing the resources and technology the frontline officers need to do their jobs. And we will keep going until every single person who breaks the law is held accountable.
The other day we showed a lot of break-ins and a lot of car thefts going on in Toronto with those Kia boys out there that can put the USB cord inside of your dashboard or under the terminal and use some sort of I think it's like it sends off a signal and it tells you like whatever they can do, they can start your car and they can steal your car. And that's been going on in Toronto for a little while. So hopefully we get to the end of that, because there's a lot of car thefts that we hear about going on out here, and especially when it comes to those Kias. Last week we did a big exclusive on that, where like they were just riding off, walked up to this one lady's car, got into it and just hooked it up to some sort of a setup and drove off with it. Now we're going to go to another finalization of something that happened a few months ago. You guys remember, you're way too beautiful, girl. That's why this will never work. You make me suicidal. Suicidal. Your boy Sean Kingston and his mother got caught up in that federal case where they kind of, I think they tried to steal some money from some people. Guess what? Yesterday, both of them found guilty. Check this out. Sean Kingston and his mother were found guilty in a federal court, in a federal case yesterday.
We're following breaking news now. Just coming into the CBS News Miami newsroom, a federal jury found singer and rapper Sean Kingston and his mother, Janice Turner, guilty on all charges in their luxury fraud scheme trial. Turner was taken into custody immediately while Kingston was ordered on house arrest until sentencing. Prosecutors accused the pair of running a scheme in which they obtained high-end items, including a luxury SUV, jewelry, expensive watches, and a wall-sized TV without paying for them. Sentencing is Friday, July 11th for both Kingston and his mother. Stay tuned to CBS News Miami on CW 33 at 10 o'clock for more.
He was moving really funny, y'all. He was doing stuff like trying to tell people, hey, I'm Sean Kingston. Let me lease this car from you and we're gonna pay you. Next thing you know, the people be like, yo, can we get our money? Then they go to his crib to try to get some money from him and he's trying to give him something else that's not even his. So he was like really on some Bernie Madoff stuff, like really trying to fake it and steal it till he made it. I don't know what the hell he was thinking about, but guess what? You're way too beautiful, girl. He gonna be singing that from jail and did not work. Because it ain't worked for him too good, did he? First of all, it's the music industry, the music career, as you see, started to decline. And then all of a sudden, you see the shows start to dry up. Then they start to do all of this finagling to try to keep relevance. And the next thing you know, they get caught up in the wheel, y'all. Sadly. I think we got a little more fat on the bone over here. Let me see something about this. I could bring you guys up to date a little bit on this story. Let's do that. Come on. Let me bring you
Rapper Sean Kingston and his mother both taken into custody, allegedly stealing more than $1 million. Thanks again for joining us here on ABC 7, Hulu, and wherever you stream. I'm David Oner.
I'm Ellen Leyva. Sean Kingston was arrested in San Bernardino County just hours after his mother was arrested during the SWAT raid of their Florida home.
And that was news reporter Ashley Mackey joins us now with more on the charges being levied against the singer and his mom. Ashley?
That's right, Dave and Ellen. Sean Kingston and his mother are both facing several charges related to fraud and theft. On Thursday, we reported that the two were arrested. In an Instagram post that's been since taken down, Kingston wrote, "I'm good, and so is my mother. My lawyers are handling everything as we speak." Well, today, his mother, Janice Turner, stood before a judge.
Won't be striking me. I could sing it, but we can't play it. Try to get me on that? Don't go there, homie. Try to strike my whole video. I've been working 2 hours. Nope.
Being held at the High Desert Detention Center in Adelanto, California, after a SWAT team raided his Florida home mansion. It was there in South Florida that his mother, 61-year-old Janice Turner, was arrested on fraud and theft charges. Turner and her attorney appeared before a judge Friday morning. She faces 8 charges, including grand theft, fraud, and organized scheme to defraud.
Criminal use of personal identification information. Count 7, grand theft greater than $100,000. And count 8, criminal use of personal identification information.
She was already on probation on a federal charge. She has a lot of charges against her in the past. Already did a lot of jail time. As you can see, she doesn't look as if she had an easy life. Looks a little bit rough around the edges, if you want to be honest about it. So yes, stemming from all of those charges, she's already been found guilty. They kept her. He's on house arrest. What y'all think about that? What we got here? Singers are bad people. The better you sing, the worse you are. You mean like Prince? Let me stop. Envy says, to the victims and peoples of, yes, definitely to the victims and the people. CC Ryder says, thieves never stop being a thief. And you're Prince Hall. What else you got here? We got Simon says the U.S. pays Denmark royalty for Greenland bases rent. If Greenland was U.S., Greenlanders would benefit instead of the royalty. Dustin says, gotta be smarter, Mr. Kingston. Yeah, man, always the same thieves. Yeah, because see, they get so caught up into the hype and lying to people. Like, no, I'm gonna do this show and I got you. You know, they get caught up into the stuff that they talking about. And all of that stuff be leased. The house was leased. They be staying at Airbnbs, lying to dealers, stealing jewelry from jewelers, all types of crazy stuff to try to keep that persona going after you've lost all of the money that you actually claim. So, you know, it just seemed like a never-ending wheel of BS that just happened. So sad for him. The people that basically got robbed don't seem like they got none of their money back because the stuff that he was promising was other leased items that he also did not own. And like I said, his mother has massive priors, and it's sad because you could look at it like birds of a feather fly together if you want to. We got a little more content here with President Trump answering a lot of questions, finalizing on a lot of questions and things that, you know, people were asking about. This is a conference that he had where he was live and he was talking about U.S. aid, the victory, because they actually won in court, the U.S. aid victory, as well as State Department declares U.S. aid final shutdown. Thought that you guys would want to see this.
Bit as well. And what do you think about that, Governor? Do you agree? I think so. Ron, do you agree? I think so. Florida? Iowa? That's right. I really believe that. They'll be as good as any of them. And then you'll have some laggards, and we'll work with them. And we can all tell you who the laggards will be right now, probably, but let's not get into that. But we'll work with them, and we're going to make them, they'll do a job. I think they'll do a job, and they'll go to sections of the state. For instance, New York, you'll have a Manhattan, and you'll have a Suffolk County, and you'll have Nassau County, and you'll have Westchester County. You'll do 4 or 5 or 6 of them. You have upstate New York, and those counties, I think, are going to do very well. And I think ultimately Manhattan should do very well. But we'll break it down into sections, and I think it'll be really, really good. And they're going to be probably the tougher ones, but I think they have a chance to do really well. But we're going to be returning education very simply back to the states where it belongs. And this is a very popular thing to do, but much more importantly, it's a common sense thing to do, and it's going to work. Absolutely, it's going to work. And I can tell you from dealing with the governors and others in the state, they want it so badly. They want to take their children back and really teach their children individually. Probably the cost will be half.
One thing I would say, I got pushed through school. I got to be honest about it. A lot of people in the comments, you'll say the same thing. You probably feel like you didn't really graduate in a certain class or a certain time when you got promoted, but they was like, you know what, we got to keep you moving because of a certain age. I'm going to be honest about that. So in that regard, if there's going to be more attention paid to the students as well as better education, I'm all for for education going back to the states. A lot of times when something is taken care of in a vast look where it's like being looked at like the government or an overall issue, you can't really get into it and define and find out little small things that may actually apply to different areas. So in this sense, in regard, I hope, I'm not going to just make up assumptions and things, but I hope that it's better for education because hopefully people will be able to pay more attention to the students than what the attention that we're getting now. Because personally, I feel like school now under the Fed is basically daycare, and you have to go or you're going to go to jail, your parents, or you're going to get truancy. So they just sit there and do whatever they want. A lot of them are on their phones doing stuff or having problems with the teachers. 9 times out of 10, the teachers are scared to death to say anything. And in that regard, they don't want to really talk to that student because you got a student that's fighting back literally and trying to be an instigator in the class, which they mostly are now. You probably won't even want to teach the way that you should be teaching. So there's a lot of areas that they need to go into. Hopefully this will help. We don't know, but we'll see.
Important document, and we're going to be on our way. People have wanted to do this for many, many years, for many, many decades. And I don't know, no president ever got around to doing it, but I'm getting around to doing it, that our country is doing very well. Things are, as you can see, doing quite quite well. Please sit down.
Okay, thank you about that truancy. I appreciate it.
Before we begin, I just
Mel.
want to announce that I signed a proclamation a few moments ago honoring the 250th anniversary of Patrick Henry's famous speech to the Second Virginia Convention, in which he declared very well-known, very famous words, "Give me liberty or give me death." Has anyone heard the phrase? I think most of you have. And moments ago, I also signed an executive order to dramatically increase production of critical minerals and rare earths. It's a big thing in this country. And as you know, we're also signing agreements in various locations to unlock rare earths and minerals and lots of other things all over the world. But in particular, Ukraine, we're doing very well with regard to Ukraine and Russia. And one of the things we are doing is signing a deal very shortly.
I think that if he wouldn't have said anything about the money from Ukraine, we would have never got anything back. Somebody said something very smart and detailed in the comments. It said that we weren't giving monetary in the form of cash. We were giving it in the form of weapons. As for instance, like the strikers and things of that nature are what we were giving. But that person there has to also understand, and I'm sure that you do understand, that that still is a cost. Shipping and giving it to them is also a cost. But you're basically trying to say we didn't give them direct monetary. We gave them this in weaponry. I get what you're trying to say. I got you.
In a few moments, I will sign an executive order to begin eliminating the Federal Department of Education once and for all. And it sounds strange, doesn't it? Department of Education,
The
we're
Quest
going to
says
eliminate
no,
it.
it was
And
cash and
everybody
weapons.
knows it's right.
Okay, the Quest.
And the Democrats know it's right, and I hope they're going to be voting for it, because ultimately it may come before them. But
Cameron, it sure
everybody
is.
knows it's right, and we have to get our children educated. We're not doing well with the world of education in this country, and we haven't for a long time. And we're pleased to be joined today by the woman who I chose because she's an extraordinary person, and hopefully she will be our last Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon. Linda, thank you.
Someone else in the comments again, when there's certain comments that I think will create a conversation, I read them and I bring them up. One person said that there's going to be bias now that the Fed is not taking care of the entire Department of Education. There's going to be bias from, I guess, monetary spending and things of that nature. What do you guys think about there? Is there a possibility of there now being a much more bias, whereas I see what they mean. When it's controlled in an overall general state, that's just the way it runs everywhere. When it's biased, it can be hidden, and you don't necessarily have to take care of certain small instances when it comes down to certain states that can actually hide things, do things, and not perform. Totally understand what you're saying about that. What do you guys think about that? Because it's definitely a possibility of there being biases in education, since now it's going to be handled by separate states. Definitely a conversation to have.
Where are you, Brad? Hi, Brad. Jim Pylan, thank you very much, Jim. And Kim Reynolds. These are all people very interested in education. And I even see Dan Patrick over there, my friend Dan Patrick. We're joined also by Representatives Tim Walberg and Virginia Fox, Rick Allen, Michael Rulli, and again, Dan Patrick. Thank you very much, Dan. You've been a great friend of ours.
Okay.
And State Attorneys General Ken Paxton. Ken, I see you there. Andrew Bailey. Andrew, what a job you've done, Andrew. You have some good cases going. You've done a great job. Thank you very much.
There you go.
And co-founder of Moms for Liberty, Tiffany Justice. She's been a hard worker.
There you go, Simon.
Thank
What if they ain't got the money for it,
Thank you,
Simon?
Tiffany.
What if they don't got the money
When
to move to a
President
good
Carter
district,
created the Federal Education Department in 1979, it was opposed by members of his own cabinet, as well as the American Federation of Teachers, the New York Times editorial board, and the famed Democrat Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan. History has proven them right, absolutely right. After 45 years, the United States spends more money on education by far than any other country, and spends likewise by far more money per pupil than any country, and it's not even close. But yet we rank near the bottom of the list in terms of success. It's an amazing stat. Those are two stats you don't want. The most money spent per pupil, and you're at the bottom of the list. And that's where we are, like it or not. And we've been there for a long time. 70% of eighth graders are not proficient in either reading or in math.
One of my followers in the comments literally is a school teacher. She backed up all of this. She says she asked one of her students a math problem, and they couldn't even do it with 4 people trying to get it done. Nowadays, we claim that we so smart. We are 40th in education. 40th. I'm not trying to say try anything, but we got to change something. And yes, a lot of you guys have a lot of very smart, valid points when it comes down to keeping things fed. Totally, I see it. The biases and things of that nature. But then people on the other side that are talking about moving it state are also saying that there were always biases anyway. So I think we need to spend more money on teachers, try to make the classes smaller, create more after-school programs, and do more when it comes down to, let's say, putting music back in school. We used to have that a lot, where people were actually playing instruments and things of that nature. We lost a lot of monetary when it came down to schools funding. I used to be able to go to woodwinds classes. We had like brass and things like that. Those things were funded by the Fed. And then out of that came a lot of talent and a lot of alternating energy going into a positive thing. So that's personally me. I'm thinking that things like that should come back. I'm heavily into music. Sports is great. It keeps you energized. It keeps you educated. It keeps you healthy. So things like that. And it burns off energy. So y'all already know when the kid is little, y'all be like, I'm going to take this kid to the park and let him run to get him tired. It's the same thing when you get older. Put them in sports. Put them in the things that they're actually going to get tired and doing, and being actually getting some health benefits from. That's how I look at it.
Such as, and they're in charge of them, Pell Grants, Title I funding, resources for children with disabilities and special needs will be preserved, fully preserved. They're all going to be. So if you look at the Pell Grants, it's supposed to be a very good program, Title I funding and resources for children with special disabilities and special needs. They're going to be preserved in full and redistributed to various other agencies and departments that will take very good care of them. And it's very important to Linda, I know, and it's very important to all of us. But beyond these core necessities, my administration will take all lawful steps to shut down the department. We're going to shut it down and shut it down as quickly as possible. It's doing us no good. We want to return our students to the states where just some of the governors here are so happy about this. They want education to come back to them, to come back to the states, and they're going to do a phenomenal job. You know, if you look, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, I have to tell you, I give them a lot of credit. China's top 10. And so we can't now say that bigness is making it impossible to educate, because China is very big. But you have countries that do a very good job in education. And
somebody in the comments said something very smart. Security has to be brought into schools so that the teachers can, perform and do what they have to do. Hard part about that is it goes from being security to policing. Now you got police in the schools, and you got the kids like, as soon as they do something, instead of it being like a sort of a punishment, it's more like a police sort of an issue where they're getting arrested and getting handcuffs put on them. I happen to know a 12-year-old that wrote on a desk, and he got arrested in school and got charged for being in a gang. And he had nothing to do with being in a gang, but they looked at it like, you're putting up your gang symbol, and you're actually, what did they say? He was defacing school property. So he actually had to go to court for that. It's like a 12-year-old, 10-year-old, from 10 to 12-year-old this kid was. So that's the part that I'm talking about. And we had to go to the precinct to talk to a detective about this case, about this situation. So that's what I'm talking about when it comes down to that. It's a hard line when it comes down to gangs and things of that nature, and trying to associate it with a boy that might be putting a tag on a desk, where you might be just putting up your tag name. You know, what are they gonna come for next? E plus J with a heart around it, like Eric loves Jenny. Like what's next? You know, because that's what kids do. They doodle on the book. They get bored. They write in the desk. Next thing you know, now you're getting arrested for writing in school. And this is something that I personally had to deal with a friend of mine with her son. So it kind of goes overboard a little bit. What a waste of tax dollars and resources, poor kid. Exactly. Yeah, I see that. I'm in the 8th grade. I dealt with people with cops in my school too. You see that? He says, Rena Love said that happened to me and my son. He is an artist and he liked to draw, and he was in the 8th grade, and I guess he drew one of those symbols. You see that? I know what I'm talking about. What else we got? Matthew, I want people to stop bragging about paying taxes. Fantastic is nothing more than child support. We get your ass involved. Matthew, you crazy. Peter D. In urban cities in America in the 80s, they had metal detectors and police security. What the F happened, yo? Anybody went to Brandeis? Anybody go to a school in Manhattan called Brandeis? Did you go to Martin Luther King? Did you go to any one of the schools downtown? Because yes, y'all had to go through the metal detector. I had to go through the metal detector every day. And then they give you this card that you got to put in this thing. And then if it rings off, you got to go to the principal's office. You might have missed the class or something happened. And that means you got to go to the principal's office first before you even go to your class. When I was in high school, I was so tight. Every single day, when I come in with my card, thinking I'm going to class, ding, 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 principal's office. Then they send you through the metal detector. So yes, back in the day, even 80s and the 90s, they had metal detectors. I don't know, I think they got wands in there now, and they got a lot of cops. And I'm glad that a lot of people are understanding of, the doodling on the table thing. That's a real crime now. You can almost get in trouble. I'm surprised some of them parents ain't have to pay for to get the graffiti removed, because that's what they call it, graffiti. And all your kid is doing is doodling on the table.
Got around to doing it, but I'm getting around to doing it that our country is doing very well. Things are, as you can see, doing quite well. Please sit down. Before we begin, I just want to announce that I signed a proclamation
Somebody just said something very smart that actually helped me. I went to a school called Trade Source. I learned a ton of construction to the point where it didn't even need no certification. I learned so much in this. I'm gonna read this right here because Ang says it. Yes, trade schools and paid apprenticeships should be as encouraged and funded as at university. Now, when you broke and you're a kid and you're going to school, if they gave you an incentive, like, guess what? For 2 weeks, you go to work, and for 2 weeks, you go to school. And every month, we're going to give you $500. Would y'all go to school if that was the play? 2 weeks, you go to school. In 2 weeks, you go to work, and we give you $500. That's what happened to me. I went to a school that actually did that. They let you go to work for 2 weeks, and then you went to school for 2 weeks, and they paid you. It was called YALA, Young Adult Learning Academy, and it taught you trades and different things like that. After 6 months, you'd be able to go to the job and stay working there, and you have a trade. Stuff like that. That's why I like what this person said, because that's exactly things that actually work. Because you're teaching the person while they're still in school how to move on and be progressive. Got some smart people in the comments this morning, boy. Got to give a shout out to everybody in the comments because y'all ain't been playing. I don't know if y'all want to, but y'all should give yourself a round of applause. Even people that's having sideline conversations, I really like what y'all talking about. Y'all getting it in today and y'all staying on point. I'm loving the show today. Thumbs up to everybody. We can keep them likes up. I appreciate it. I want to get the rest of this out because, again, when it's information that we need to know, I like for us to know it. Y'all can dip out, but I'm going to keep on letting this rock until I feel like we had enough. We're going to keep on going.
right. And the Democrats know it's right, and I hope they're going to be voting for it because ultimately it may come before them. But everybody knows it's right, and we have to get our children educated. We're not doing well with the world of education in this country, and we haven't for a long time. And we're pleased to be joined today by the woman who I chose because she's a...
Nope, he was bringing that back around. We already saw that part. And yes, we're going to close out on that clip. We got enough. We had a great conversation on that topic. And again, I always say the same thing to you guys all the time. Y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me this morning, I appreciate you. Do me a favor, it's going to be your last chance to hit those 3 dots. Yes, we came to that point of the show. Y'all been here that long with me, almost an hour plus. Don't y'all notice how the show flows when you get involved and y'all like to be part of the dialogue, meeting new friends? I hear y'all in the comments beefing too. I've actually seen people say, hey, meet me at such and such. We can talk to... Stop all that fighting. I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of funny to see because I'm like, yo, they're having their own issues going on in the comments. It's pretty funny, but no, we don't come here for that. We come here for a community. We come here to get off what we want to say. A lot of times, like people always say, you can play these clips yourself. Why do you got to go to the bottom line to watch it? Because you don't have the dialogue, the chance to talk with other people about it and to say what you want to say and to get people's responses. Over here, you look at a clip and be like, you know, whatever, I'm going to say this. And then now you got a whole bunch of people to go back and forth with dialogue about your topic and what you're saying. That's another major reason why we made our bottom line. Plus, I like coming here chilling with y'all every morning. So that's why I always ask for the likes to get more people to come. So now the show gets better and we can help each other out even more. Now we getting to the point of the what? Money, 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 money. Money. I found about $750 worth of surveys in my little place that I get these surveys from. There's 2 of them. One for $250 and the other one is for $500. Go into the descriptions today and see if you guys can make $500 or maybe $750 off some surveys. All you got to do is fill them out. I'm going to make $25. I don't front. I don't lie. Ain't got no reason to. You ain't going to come through the phone and beat my butt. So I'll tell you straight up what the deal is. Go ahead and fill out them surveys. If y'all win, I already made some money off of them because they're already telling me that people won. Only thing I ask you to do is send me a photo and show me how much you won. Why you don't want to tell everybody that y'all making money off the surveys, y'all? Why y'all trying to be cheap? Why y'all don't want to let everybody know? Why y'all want to tell people, huh? I want you to send me a photo. You can cover the name, cover your picture, but I want to put it up in the post area so people see I'm telling the truth about the surveys working. Because you know how people are here, they don't play. Bugatti, you've been talking about them surveys forever. Ain't nobody ever said that they made any money off of them. I would call myself out on them too. So the 3 people that said that y'all made money off of them, and I see it on the other side because I made my 25, go ahead and send me the clip in the picture so I can show everybody else that they work. Now, we're going to go to another thing, which is show your talent. This is coming to New York. This is my talent show. It's for everyone that has talent, not just a singer or a rapper or a dancer. No, you might be a chef. You might be an artiste. You might be able to do something that's artistic. We might want to see it. So with that being the case, I'm doing these talent shows in New York now, in Manhattan, Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island, where you can come out and show your talent, make $250 off of that borough, and then move on to make $1,000 if you win the grand finale and beat everybody else. I keep on telling people, you think you're going to get up there and be like, seems so real that my mind won't. Then you're going to get up there and sing and beat everybody. Old lady going to come in with a plate of chicken and say, my talent is cooking chicken. Somebody going to say, you win. I just got beat by a lady that cooked chicken. That's right, because it's a talent, and we don't limit talent over here. So whatever your talent is, I'm going to have locations and dates. We're going to have a line wrapped around the corner because everybody trying to make that $250 right about now because pockets is touching. And it's going to be in cash. So whoever wins, you get the money right there, coming right out my pocket. Boom. You win. Everybody see you win, and that's it. Then we move to the next borough and do the same thing. Then we replicate it in other states, because I want to come to Grand Rapids, I want to come to Virginia, I want to come to LA, and we're going to do the same thing in those different places. I'm going to have to find a little janky setup like this to do the bottom line in the morning, but I'm going to do it anyway, because as long as we're doing this, I'm still having fun. And yes, I'm the host of those events. I'll be the one there. I'm going to be a judge as well as the host. We got a couple of celebrity hosts that we've already confirmed. We got Big Gene Deal. Y'all already know him from the last big deal, the Raw Night. We've already got Destiny Exotica, who's already confirmed for Brooklyn. And we got some other major celebrities that we're going to let y'all know that's going to be there. Talk to Jadakiss, and we're going to see if maybe he pops by and see if we can get a little exclusive going on from him. Because you know that's one of my personal friends from Yonkers, right? So yeah, don't think that we're going to not have a good time. We're going to be able to continuously do this. I love to do this show. This is the favorite thing I do in the morning. Yes, we run long sometime, but we had to wrap up for Purple Sundays. We had to wrap up the week, and I will see you guys tomorrow, like we always do, same time, 6 o'clock in the morning for Our Bottom Line. This is your boy BOOGOTTINYC, and like I always tell you, you could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. Everybody, if you happy with the show, this is going to be your last chance. Do me a favor. Again, trying to get to the 30,000 members mark. We're trying to get to that point, and we're right there, 29,000. And also, last chance to hit that like button. Y'all ready? I'm about to go drink me some coffee and wind down, because y'all don't know this show charges me up. I get really happy when I do the bottom line. Y'all ready? Time to get up out of here. See you guys later. And like I always tell you, you could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. So until tomorrow, y'all know what it is. Get 'em! 1.